every week, and I know you haven't been here for it, but as we do every week, we got a little update that we're going to give. And this isn't much of an update today because I don't have much info, but there is some stuff going on in the world that impacts this. So let's get to it. All right, a Restore the Snyderverse update. And I've been doing this every week that I have a show because there's so much negativity, toxicity, animosity all around this fandom and this movement. And it kind of gets me upset sometimes, and probably more than it should. But I do this because I want people to know that we don't need to be so hard headed and ridiculous when it comes to this movement. Yeah, I know there's some things that are kind of connected. You had the whole I stand with Ray Fisher stuff and everything going on with all that he has claimed happened when he was making Justice League. But I think people need to step back and realize that those are two separate things. I don't think we should be lumping in Ray Fisher's movement of sorts with the Snyderverse movement because it's a bad look on the Snyderverse movement. And that's just my opinion. I know that there's probably people out there who says you have to have one, you can't do one without the other, you have to have both, blah, blah, blah. But to me, the most successful that we've ever been is whenever we've stayed passionate, excited, and united. That's kind of what I say all the time. And that's what I want to touch on today because we had some pretty big information come out last week, and there was this whole story that came out about Joss Whedon, whatever you want to say. And he came and he did a story. He actually did an interview. I think it was last spring, and they waited until now to release it. And he kind of says, yeah, I suck at life, but I'm trying to do better. Yeah, I cheated on my wife because, well, I had to. And Gal Gadot just doesn't understand English. So when she says I threatened her career, she just didn't understand what I was saying. So, yeah, I was joking around or some shit. And then he essentially tried to say that Zack Snyder had Ray Fisher say all this stuff against Joss, and that Zack is actually the racist. This is all this stuff that came out last week, which is absolutely insane. But it kind of like boiled over into the Snyderverse fandom, obviously, because this was more in line against what Ray Fisher was saying, but the fandom kind of turned it around and was like, oh, no, this is all about Zack Snyder and his vision and everything. But we got to boycott WB for this. We got to boycott WB for that. And Ray Fisher is kind of the one leading the charge on that boycott WB thing because he said, I will never support a Walter Hamada production until he apologizes or he's gone. So that started the whole boycott WB thing. And it kind of got me upset this past week. Probably about 2 or 3 days ago, I'm sitting there, half asleep, and it's probably because I was sick and I got real annoyed seeing all this online. And I kind of called out people. I'm like, this boycott Warner Brothers thing is kind of ridiculous. And I still believe it is. I'm not going to sit there and tell people, don't boycott Warner Brothers. Do it. I mean, if you want to show them with your money how you feel, go for it. But in the grand scheme of things, this is something that I've been saying for a number of months. The success or failure of any Warner Brothers project will not dictate whether the Snyderverse is restored or not. And people don't seem to understand that right now. And that's what I was trying to get across is boycott it all you want, go for it. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people saying, boycott Warner Brothers, hashtag boycott Warner Brothers, and then 2 tweets later, oh man, I can't wait to see the Batman.
That's not how that works.
Oh man, have you been watching Peacemaker? No, if you're boycotting Warner Brothers, you shouldn't have HBO Max. You shouldn't be going to see the Batman. And then people get all upset at me because I said, look, it's kind of ridiculous because there's no guidance. There's no leadership in these movements anymore. And people are just doing what they want all willy-nilly like. So you have Boycott Warner Brothers, you have I Stand with Ray Fisher, you have Restore the Snyderverse, Restore the Snyderverse. You have three movements here that, in a sense, can be connected, but shouldn't be. Because, honestly, when it comes down to it, the entirety of the Snyderverse being restored really only possible if everybody's on board. And that doesn't mean that if the Flash movie fails, Warner Brothers are going to say, well, the Flash failed, we got to restore the Snyderverse. Or if the Batman fails, we got to restore the Snyderverse. It's not what it is at all. So when we get down to everything, I want people to realize and understand. But when I say stuff like that, I'm not against the movements. Again, I'm all for people boycotting. I'm all for people standing with Ray Fisher. I'm all for people trying to restore the Snyderverse. I want nothing more than the Snyderverse to be restored. But there has to be a united front. There has to be one specific set goal that we are all moving forward to, and there needs to be a direction on how to get to it. And I'm kind of worried we're not there. I'm kind of worried that most of us are basically like, well, let's just kind of do our own thing. Oh, I'm mad at them. And then you start spouting out toxic, hateful language and things. But then on the other side, you're trying to be all nice and peaceful and helpful and kind. And there's just a mixed signal there. But I don't know. I want to know all of your thoughts. I want everybody to put in the comments below what you think of everything that's going on with Restore the Snyderverse. This whole Joss Whedon thing was ridiculous. I hope they kind of end his career, because that would be very, very nice. What's going on, guys? Did you enjoy this video? If you did, make sure you smash that like button. And for more, hit subscribe with that little notification bell. That way, you'll be notified every time a new episode drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.